Hello, folks. This is Mark Smith with Family Tree, and I just had some quick thoughts I want to share. I am going to attempt to make some shorter videos, and as I did over the weekend, I'm going to make them live, just because it's easier to upload that way, so probably won't be chatting. So today my video is entitled 7 Ways to Get Yourself Eaten Alive by Narcissists. JC says, my God, need this today. Well, I hope my words are helpful to you today, JC. So, 7 ways to get yourself eaten alive by narcissists. As you guys know, I am an expert in this field, not by years and years of study on narcissism, but basically by getting my ass handed to me by some very wicked narcissists, and then sharing my pain with you guys and my experiences. So, I've been sort of a babe in the woods, if you will. Many years ago, a woman that I lived at her house, an elderly woman, she called me a babe in the woods, and nothing could be more true than that. I said yesterday that I wish that there was a course in high school for us about narcissism. We should be taught that there are people out there like this, because I didn't have a clue. I didn't have the slightest clue that there were people like this. So for many years, I was encased in what I call religious addiction, and that kept me safe and it kept me naive. But as I look back upon my experiences, I realized that I was surrounded by narcissists who were Christian leaders who didn't know they were narcissists. And I'm not taking shots at the church. I'm not saying all Christian leaders are narcissists. I'm not saying that all faith is addiction. It was for me. So I've had an experience over the weekend. I had 2 opportunities to consult via Skype, just voice Skype, with the British expert on narcissism, H.G. Tutor. And he puts himself forth as a narcissist, as a greater narcissist in his language. And you might say, why am I consulting with a narcissist about narcissism? And I would say to you, who better to ask than somebody who has lived it all his life? But I have found my HG, his voice on the videos is a little scary. In person, he's much more personable. And I have found my consults with him, I had 2 of them, and they were $100 each, and I found them to be extremely valuable, really mind-blowing. He explains the concept of fuel, and that's what narcissists run on. He explained the concept of a malice obsession, where greater narcissists, or sometimes mid-range narcissists, have an obsession with rage and anger and malice towards you. I'm currently reading H.D. Tutor's book, Sitting Targets, because I'm tired of being a sitting target. I can't recommend it. So, again, his concept is there are lesser narcissists who aren't real bright and they're real emotionally reactive. There's mid-range narcissists who may not know that they are a narcissist, and they're not nearly as cunning as a greater narcissist. The greater narcissists are very calculating and very, very dangerous. HG pointed out that many support forums for narcissistic abuse are actually run by greater narcissists themselves, and that was my experience. I was involved in a forum, and I got really munched on and abused and stomped on and really harmed by an administrator of a support group forum for narcissistic abuse. I got a confession to make, folks. You know me. If you know me, my emphasis is on doing work on yourself, and let's not overemphasize learning about the narcissist. There's too much learning about the narcissist and doing that to the neglect of doing your own work. And I mainly encourage people to explore why you're picking the narcissist and why you're involving yourself in that. But it don't hurt to understand the devil if the world is teeming with dangerous narcissists, as it is. The world is teeming with dangerous narcissists. I did not know this, so I was wrong about that. I do think that y'all out there think that studying the narcissist is a lot sexier and cooler than working on yourselves. And I do think it's over-focused on in comparison to doing work on yourself. But it does need to be focused on. And I was perhaps neglecting that to my own harm. And so I'm going to be going to Understanding Narcissists School, and I'll be passing on insight to you guys. So from my experience, here's the 7 ways to get yourself eaten alive by a narcissist, or narcissists at the same time. Number 1, be too trusting. Number 2, be an empath. I'm an empath, and it gets you into trouble. You care too much, and you don't protect yourself enough. Number 3, don't have strong boundaries that offer protection for you. Number 4, be a sucker for love bombing. If somebody's coming along and love bombing you and you're digging it, you're in great danger. I was in a professional relationship with a young man, and my business partner suggested that I had a man crush on him, not in a sexual way, but I just liked him. Why did I like him? Is because I was being love bombed. I was being compliment bombed. This love bombing doesn't have to be in the romantic sense. It can be any kind of experience where you're getting feedback from people. Number 5 way to get eaten alive by a narcissist is do not pay attention to the red flags that are waving right in front of you. A narcissist will always present some red flags. They're not geniuses. So if you don't pay attention to the red flags, you're going to get eaten alive. Number 6, don't listen to your support team. If everybody in your life tells you that the person that you're involved with is bad news and they're wrong for you, then they're right and you're wrong. Pay attention, listen, be accountable. And the 7th way of getting eaten alive by a narcissist is really not understanding who you're dealing with. Are you dealing with a lesser? Are you dealing with a passive-aggressive mid-range person? Or are you dealing with a greater narcissist that you need to battle, perhaps even using law enforcement, getting law enforcement involved? So HG Tutor was supposed to be on our show tonight, and he wants to be, but he has to. The show runs at 2 a.m. his time, and he has to be up in the morning on a flight very early, so he could not make it this week. I'm going to be not in a place where I can interview him next week, but we'll get him on in the next month whenever his schedule allows. But I do want to recommend consulting with HG Tutor. He, in my interactions with him, he's been sensitive. He's been personable. He's been joking. He interacts well. He's respectful. So don't feel like you're going to be harmed or abused. You will gain a great deal of insight by listening to this man. So those are 7 ways to get yourself eaten alive by a whole teeming pool of narcissistic sharks. Trust too much. Be overly empathetic. Don't protect yourself with boundaries. Fall for the love bombing. And don't know who you're dealing with. And you are going to get eaten alive. We'll talk with you tonight in the regular live feed. God bless.